Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys have all had a great Thursday. It's Friday tomorrow and then it's the weekend, and Newcastle United are back in action this weekend as we take on Fulham on Saturday night, 7 o'clock. I am going down there, I will be there. There'll be loads of videos, so be sure to subscribe. Don't miss out. Hopefully I'll be celebrating in London this weekend, and it is on TV. ITV4, so yeah, it'll be there for everyone to watch. I think there's like 6,000 Geordies heading down to this Fulham game, despite the fact the game being on at a mental time. If you're not staying over, it's going to be tough to get back, so yeah, big up the effort of the Geordies. Hopefully it all pays off and we can get a win, the first game in a while, so looking forward to it. But question marks out there as to, whether Callum Wilson will be involved this weekend, and mostly so around the fact that he had picked up an injury. Eddie Howe said he'd hope to have him back for this one or maybe the Villa game on Tuesday. He's been spotted heading off to Dubai on holiday. He'd returned from training. He'd been spotted in the airport again, and it's just all kind of whirling its way up to what is being reported today, that Newcastle have got a price tag on Callum Wilson, and a whole host of teams are coming out of the woodwork are interested in him. Now, this price tag that we're talking about is supposed to be around 18 million for the player. You let me know down below, if we received a bid for Callum Wilson of 18 million, are you looking to take it? Or are you saying no, we need to keep hold of this guy? Obviously there's ifs and buts with that, because I think if we were to sell Callum Wilson, I think we've got to be looking to replace him. I don't think it's, obviously we had all the Trippier stuff with will he not go? It's looking very much likely Kieran Trippier will not be leaving the club. But if he did, well, Livermento's standing and waiting. Now you could say if Wilson went, Isak is standing and waiting as well. But, I think Isak is still possibly, we're still waiting to get a full season out of him, I suppose, is the honest answer. I think in a way Wilson and Isak complement each other to a degree, because it's tough to always have both of them fit. Now look, if Isak was fully fit and was capable of playing every single game, I would, what I'd actually do is look at, can we try at times play Isak on the left and Wilson in the middle. But generally speaking, a bit of the changing of the guard, a bit of a kind of swap over from Wilson into Isak, I think is inevitable over the next few years. Although having said that, Wilson has been great. I think when he plays less football, he plays better. When he plays less football, he scores more goals, because he's actually playing fully fit. But I think it was kind of known that as Isak came in, we would slowly see this shift. And Callum Wilson, who's 31-year-old now, contract ends in 2025, so a year left on his deal, year and a half left on his deal. Moving past that, it's the likelihood is he would be either sold or leaving, and Newcastle would be looking to bolster that striker position. You could go as far to say that even if we kept Wilson this January window, you would still like to see us bring another striker in. I think we've got lots of positions we'd like to see. No one's really talking about this defensive centre midfielder anymore. I would still like to see something like that, or a midfielder generally, happen this transfer window. But I think a lot of it is what Darren Neal said, which is we kind of need to bring a bit of money in first, and if there's opportunities to let players go in positions or where we see it beneficial to the club, that's the big question it comes back to, because we just spoke about it there. Callum Wilson, would I like to see us let Callum Wilson go and not replace him this January window? No, I really don't think so. Unless it's a fee that we really go, we probably won't get offered this again in the summer window. He'll be another 6 months on in his contract. Is it time to let him go now while the interest is high? Now it's the likes of Premier. Obviously we saw, start from the beginning, we had Atletico Madrid come in for a loan deal that wasn't accepted. AC Milan had placed interest. It was thought that Callum Wilson himself was also interested in potentially making a move if it worked for him. Maybe going to a league abroad where the football isn't as fast, where he can maybe try and stay, at the top of his game, I guess, is the answer. I think at the minute, the way Eddie Howe plays football and demands so much of his players, Callum Wilson's a guy who, don't get me wrong, has worked really hard, has scored a lot of goals for us, especially in the last season or so, and has helped us through a lot, but we're asking him to run and run and run, and Callum Wilson just wants to stand on the penalty spot and kick the ball in the net. You know, he does it for us, he works hard for us, he does it well. You know, who's better to have on the edge of the 6-yard box when you're 1-0 down in a game? Who's better to have on the edge of the 6-yard box, full stop, to be honest? And that's why so many of these teams are interested. But for us, really what we're looking at is we want to bring another striker in. It will be Isak and Wilson, but I'm looking at another one, because you never know if he's going to be fit. And does Callum Wilson want to be that third place striker? I'm thinking by the summer window, if Wilson hasn't left, we are looking to bring somebody in regardless of whether he stays or goes. And then if we're continuing to play the way we play, he will be third choice behind Isak and somebody else. Or Isak will be number one and it'll be Wilson / a youngster sharing the game time. So is this a chance for Wilson to go away, possibly get himself a signing on fee, get himself one big deal, you know, at the end of his career? Then maybe he would be open for it. Interestingly, the teams who are interested are a lot of Premier League teams. Chelsea being listed as one of the teams who are potentially looking to give Newcastle that 18 to 20 million pound mark that we're looking for and let them go. Chelsea, Arsenal, West Ham, there's a bunch of teams out there who are desperate for a striker, and Callum Wilson could potentially fit that bill. Now, it's one of those, because we don't know how the future works. If we get into the halfway through February and Callum Wilson picks up an injury and he plays 2 more games of the season, we'll all look back and go, God, why didn't we just let him go? Or we keep him, and he is vital in what we can try and get at European spot at the end of this season. So you can't read the future. All you can go off is what you think is right at the time. And for me right now, if we have a Wilson sale to line up a young striker to come through, maybe a centre mid to come through, and an aging player out at a pretty decent fee, then maybe it's the right move to make. But I also think that for this Chelsea, for this Arsenal team, I don't think they're not buying Wilson to go, let's get him in there, he's going to be our number 9 for the next 3 years. They're bringing in a Wilson so he can try and score them some goals this season, and then they'll go and buy players in the summer as well. So for Wilson's career also, you would probably assume that if he did go to one of these sides, he's not going to become their number 9 for the next 3 years. I think he's probably got as good a shout at getting like good game time at Newcastle regularly with Isak, with somebody else, than if he went to another club, he could suddenly find himself quite far down the pecking order. I think Eddie Howe thinks a lot of Wilson, and I don't think he would, put him out to pasture while he's at Newcastle. I think he would always be within a shout of, starting a game. If Wilson's fit, you play him, but he isn't fit a lot of the time. I would even love to see Isak go left, Gordon go right, Wilson up front, but again, it comes back to that day. If you're playing Isak and Wilson every game together, and then one of them gets injured, or both of them are injured, then you're screwed. So Eddie Howe's also almost trying to be careful. Well, we'll just play one of them this week, and we'll just play the other one next week. You have any thoughts on the Wilson situation down below? Lots of reports coming out that he could be the man to go. The Almiron one seems to be to and thrown, and have Bayern Munich actually given up on Trippier? But once again, it seems to be Newcastle are kind of waiting for someone else to move so that we can get out and do some business. And I think it's clear Newcastle want to do something before this window ends. It now seems to be that with Miggy deals agreed in the background, but waiting to hear, could Wilson kind of be the next push to see what happens there? Let me know your thoughts on Wilson down below. Do we keep him at all costs, or is £20 million too much to turn down? If we did sell him, do we have to replace him and get someone in quick? Because Isak up front alone is too much of a risk. And I know we haven't got Europe and everything else, but there's still a fair bit of games to go. And to do it with one striker who, has had some injury troubles himself, might be a bit of a stretch. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty more videos coming out at the moment. As I say, film at the weekend. Yeah, hopefully there'll be plenty of videos of me cheering. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.